3 marketing strategies derived from the game of Monopoly. So I grew up playing the game of Monopoly, and unlike many millennials, I grew up with the Atlantic City version. And this version, Boardwalk and Park Place was the place to be. It was considered a nicer area, and everyone was quick to grab those properties first. While Mediterranean Avenue and Baltic Avenue, well, they were considered the slums. They were the hood. That was the hood. That was the ghetto. Nobody wanted to touch that with a 12-foot pole. But before I delve any further into this presentation in this video, I want to tell you something. I'm actually from Atlantic City. In fact, I was born and raised in Atlantic City. And of course, the city has changed a lot. When I was growing up, it wasn't as decimated and run down as it is today. In fact, when I was younger, it was bustling with energy. It was towering with great casinos, and these casinos brought all kinds of opportunities and people from all walks of life. In fact, I used to work at a casino, and I've met all kinds of people. I've met all kinds of celebrities. So it was really a great experience. And from this, I realized that Monopoly wasn't just a board game. It was really a game about strategy. It was a game about technique. And so what I decided to do was to adopt 3 of the game's principles or strategies, so to speak, into my own marketing plan. So the first strategy, of course, is to pick my token carefully. Of course, you can pick the Zoot Suit top hat, which was pretty cool, or the 1930s Cadillac V16, which is also pretty cool. Or if you're like me, you can just choose a miniature metallic doggy. It was so cute. However, in the world of internet marketing, choosing your token is not easy. In the world of internet marketing, you have to choose which channels you want to utilize. You have to ask yourself, do you want to rank in Google? Or do you believe that Google is way too saturated? There's a lot of people who believe that Google is starting to favor big businesses and starting to get really greedy with their ads. And it's becoming increasingly difficult to rank in Google organically. So people are working to optimize their pages, so to speak, for Bing and Yahoo. You have to ask yourself, do you want to do social media campaigns? Now, if you do social media campaigns, you don't have to worry so much about ranking in Google and trying to get placed on the first pages of Google's search results. So there's so many decisions as far as where you want to go and how you want to play the internet marketing game. And so, of course, there's decisions. There's ways that you can make things happen. And the first thing that you have to do is understand where your consumers hang out. And so this is relatively easy to do. Before the internet, we had to send out a whole bunch of mailers. We had to go to libraries and do all kinds of research. We had to talk to people who work for the Census Bureau just to get any kind of detailed information about our industry and buyers within our industry. But now it's easy. All you can do is just do a search in Google. You can Google it, so to speak. And you can just determine if Google is your place to be if you see a lot of ads. Now, if you were ever to take my course or buy any of my e-courses or buy my book, I would tell you how to find popular keywords within your niche, within your industries. And then, once you have these keywords, you can plug them into the Google search bar and a lot of results will come back. And so then you'll be able to see if there's ads. If there's a lot of ads, then you can get an understanding that it's a pretty popular industry and a pretty popular niche, and people are buying. People are definitely buying, and you can get an understanding of where your people are. And if that's the case, then people are coming to Google to conduct research. And if that's the case, and that's where you want to be. You want to be on Google to attract buyers and customers. Of course, there's social media. Social media is hot nowadays. What I do is I start with Twitter, and Twitter is a busy channel, but nowhere near as busy as Facebook. And so Twitter is a microblogging social media channel. And it's best to think of Twitter as a place to skim through blog posts. And you can do this by reading teaser headlines. Many of the blogs have links that lead back to the full article and video. So you can kind of get an understanding of what you want to read before you go to a huge website and start skimming through a whole bunch of articles that you have no interest in. If you don't want to use Twitter, or if you don't want to use Twitter directly, you can use Twitter indirectly through a service that's called Topsy.com. And it's probably the best tool online for navigating Twitter. Topsy.com will allow you to search for keyword phrases. It will allow you to review shares from different pieces of content, and it will even allow you to find influencers. Now, in my book, I explain to you why these things are important. And so, of course, it goes back to knowing your keywords and knowing what people are searching for. And so once you do that, you can see if there's an interest on Twitter. And if there's an interest on Twitter and there's people who are sharing content and there's people who are writing content and people who are adamant about the content they're writing, then you know that Twitter is your place to be. Of course, the one social media channel that's very popular is Facebook. Now, I am not a follow the herd kind of gal. I'm kind of a social misfit. I'm a deviant. Wherever anybody else is, I'm not there. For me, Facebook's a little bit too crowded. It's crowded. It is a pay-to-play platform. It was great in the beginning stages, but for me, it's something I'd rather not delve into because it's incredibly complicated. Now, I'm sure there's people who do really well on Facebook, but it really is a social media channel that I don't touch. However, I have heard things about Facebook Graph. Facebook Graph has been out for a few years now, and basically it allows you to search via keyword. It also allows you to search within groups, and you can get an idea of what your friends' friends are liking and what your friends' friends are doing. So it gives you a great opportunity to expand your network. However, Facebook is very strict on marketing, free marketing, so to speak. So if you do gather any kind of information, keep in mind that information has to be used for you to pay for ads. But again, that extends beyond this presentation. So Google Plus is a new kid on the block. And a lot of people aren't on it. Again, when you look at Facebook versus Google, it's quantity versus quality. And Google Plus is more for educational purposes. It's more for people who want to get together and hang out, people who want to do video conferences and so on and so forth. And Google Plus is newer. Facebook has been out for quite some time, and Google Plus is a new kid on the block. And so people sign on to Google Plus and it's a ghost town. You don't see all the craziness that goes on Facebook on Google Plus. However, it's a great platform to conduct research, and it's probably the easiest. You can just go to Google Plus's search bar and type in your industry's keywords, and you'll be able to find people who are either associated with your niche, or writing about your niche, or would like to learn more about your niche or your industry. Also, there's things like Hangouts, and there's communities that you can join. And what's so great about Google Plus is that they have a feature where there's established circles of people. So you can actually go in and you can be a part of a circle that has 300 people in it, and you can just start sharing content with those 300 people. So it makes it very easy to share information, and then secondly, it makes it very easy for your information to go viral. So Google Plus is still an untapped resource, and if I was a new person hopping on the internet, I think that is where I would concentrate most of my efforts. Now, principle number 2. Invest your money wisely. So in the game of Monopoly, everyone started out with a certain amount of cash. And then as the game progressed, we were either paying the bank or getting paid from the bank. And as children, we understood the key to winning the game was to snatch up as much prime real estate as possible. And fortunately, the same rules apply online. Only you're not snatching up properties. You're not snatching up Boardwalk and Park Place. You're snatching up targeted keywords. The trick is to snatch up keywords that are going to pay you money as opposed to keywords that are going to take your money. So the key is to make sure that the bank pays you. And so what you want to do is you want to test your keywords. You want to make sure that if you are writing any articles or you are paying for any ads, you want to test the keywords to make sure that they convert, because you can lose your shirt on the internet. And the best way to do this is to test your keywords to get understanding of what stage of the buying process your consumer is in. And so there are 3 stages. Stage 1 is awareness. This is a stage where the consumer knows he has a problem. Stage 2 is research. This stage is where the consumer conducts research to find solutions to her problem. Stage 3, purchase. This stage where the consumer decides to buy a product or service. And so once you identify these stages, you'll need to find keywords for each stage of the buying process. Stage 1, awareness. Find keywords that make the consumer aware of a potential problem. Here's a great keyword example: tax filing difficulties. Stage 2, research. Find keywords that give them solutions to their problems. Here's a great example: how to fight the IRS, how to get a better tax return. Stage 3, purchase. Recommend several services that offer a solution. Keyword example: get a better refund, cheap tax return services, $20 tax return services. Of course, keywords in stages 1 and 2 may very well be cheaper. These are going to be the cheaper keywords for you to add and probably to rank for. However, don't be confused by this low-hanging fruit. Be aware you can lose your shirt bidding and buying ads, and you can also spend a lot of time ranking for keywords that don't convert well. So it's best to rank organically for stage 1 and stage 2 keywords. You can do this by writing articles and creating videos. And if you can afford it, you can buy ads. However, I would only buy ads for stage 3 keywords. This way you can ensure that consumers are ready to buy. This results in immediate sales without you having to hold your consumer's hand throughout the entire buying cycle. So it's kind of a complicated process. So it's difficult to understand it at first, but if you need to any more information, you can feel free to email me and we can talk about it in more detail. And of course, the third principle is to make sure people land on your property. In Monopoly, you want people to land on your property because this is how you get paid. The same rules apply to internet marketing. You need to carve out a territory, and you can do this by building marketing content, intellectual property, so to speak. You can build your website, you can create videos, and you can also create podcasts. And heck, if you're really ambitious, you can do all three. After you get the hang of this whole internet thing, it becomes really easy to refurbish content. But the whole objective is to be sure that you snatch up those targeted keywords and have great positions and great rankings on Google search engines, or are visible on social media websites such as Twitter, Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, or all the above. Now, you can do this paying for ads. You can also pay for ads on social media websites. And you can do this by ranking organically in search engines. And that doesn't exclude Yahoo and Bing. And so when you're ranking, it's best to rank for keywords that are minimally competitive. And again, I go through all these things in my book and in my e-courses. And so this would ensure that your video, podcast, articles are in the first, second, and third position on Google. So these are principles that, again, I go into more detail in my book and also in my e-courses. So once you have this concept down pat, you can count the money as it rolls in. So cha-ching, that's the sound of someone landing on your website. Cha-ching, that's the sound of someone signing up for your newsletter. Cha-ching, that's the sound of a consumer opening up your emails. And this process goes on and normally ends with a sale. Now, keep in mind, you're not going to be rolling in the dough, at least not at first. Closing a sale is a process that starts with earning your consumer's trust. However, it is important to understand that every move that your consumer makes through your pipeline brings them one step closer to closing a sale. So you can use the principles from Monopoly's game and build a marketing campaign that is bustling with life and opportunities. Or you could ignore these 3 skills and face your demise. The decision is yours. However, in a game of Monopoly and in real life, the winner is the one who walks away with the most amount of money. Again, for more great information about marketing, be sure to visit my website, totalbusinessmarketing.net. Also, if you're looking for more great tips on how to market online, you can pick up my book, Total Business Marketing Makeover, available now on Amazon.com. Thanks for listening. See you later. Goodbye.